Yo, what's going on everyone? Miles Midoriya here with the review and recap of All-American Season 5, Episode 15. In the beginning, Spencer's having breakfast with the family and you could tell something's off about him. Dylan's excited about going to an art gallery that Spencer's going to be taking him to. While he was explaining, he spilled some orange juice on Spencer's phone. He got mad at him, which we know is because of that voicemail from Billy, which was brought up by Dylan saying that the voicemail from Billy is fine. That dude Spencer did not like that response. He stood up and asked him what did he say to him, and Dylan didn't back down. He stood up right with him. Grace and D'Angelo was trying to defuse the situation, and Spencer told D'Angelo it's family business. That was just disrespectful. He's a part of that family now. Grace got tired of it and she let him know she talked to Dr. Spears about Spencer seeing him when he's ready, but she said he's going to see him today. Spencer wasn't going for all that, but she told him he lives under her roof, he's going to therapy, so he said he doesn't need to be under her roof anymore. I said, not Grace too, he's getting irritated at everybody. Over at JAU, the football team is practicing and we can see Jordan getting a little irritated at Evan, one of the players. He was messing up on the plays and once he didn't catch one of the passes, he started dancing and Jordan just had enough. Jordan went over to go talk to him. They had a disagreement and almost got into a fight, but once again, no Jordan punches were thrown, so Jordan's punch limit hasn't changed. The scene went to the beach house and we see JJ. Asher was wondering where he's been at and JJ let him know he needed to give everybody a little space while he worked on himself. Asher said maybe he hid because of what he did at the repass. JJ told him everyone thinks he was drunk because he was partying, but that wasn't it. He was alone and he needed something to numb the pain of Coach Baker being gone. He realized that was a terrible excuse and he's good now. He's back on track and he's ready to focus on football and the partying stuff is in the rear view. I don't think it's going to be that easy. He might still be hurting over Billy being gone and just like Spencer, he needs to get help and talk to someone. They're about to go to practice and Spencer pops up. Asher asked him about him entering the transfer portal and he said he is. He's actually about to go to GAU to get his letter of recommendation from Coach Kenny. JJ got too excited. He wanted Spencer to go to Coastal, also to get Jordan over there, that they would have all of Coach Baker's players on the same roster. After he said that, Asher saw Spencer and he could tell something was wrong with him. As soon as they left, Dr. Spears walked in. It's pretty cool to see him back. He said his roommates let him in. Spencer wondered what he was doing there and he told him that he got an urgent call from his mom. She's concerned about him. He was trying to help out Spencer, but he didn't want to talk. He told Dr. Spears that he's trespassing and he asked him to leave. At the Baker's house, Layla told Patience about Miko bringing that stuff to the house and she was freaking out for a little bit, but Layla changed the topic and showed Patience the views on her video, hoping it would make her happy. But it didn't. She was a little down and only had 500,000 views, and Layla said that can't be right. The teaser got like 5 million views. She's letting too much stuff get to her. It might not be 5 million views, but 500,000 views is still a lot. It takes time for videos and stuff to build up. Maybe some of them didn't know the video dropped yet. At Coastal, Asher was talking to the players about some new drills and JJ was answering the questions right. Coach Montez wondered what Asher did and he told him he's locked in, he showed up early and he's prepared. Coach Montez said they'll see how long it lasts. It would be nice if he believed that JJ was doing good, but I get it, he messed up before. You know he probably was missing practices, meetings, and workouts, so it's understandable why he feels that way. Spencer went to go talk to Coach Kenny about his letter of recommendation and Kenny told him coaches with interest will reach out to him when he gets to the portal and Spencer said is he going to write the letter or what? At that point, Coach Kenny had enough. He let Spencer know he gave him a pass the last time he came at him sideways, but he better watch his tone and he'll get the letter when he's good and ready. And he said the locker room is for current GAU players only. Once Spencer realized he wasn't about to get that letter, he left. As soon as Spencer went outside, there was Dr. Spears. He said he's on public property, so he's asking him if he wants to make an appointment next week. Spencer just wanted them to leave him alone. That's when Dr. Spears asked him, what is it about the people in his life or maybe the men in his life that go above and beyond for him that's triggering? And he angrily told him he's not triggered before he lowered his tone, but he sounded like he was triggered to me. Dr. Spears told Spencer that he's trying his hardest to hide from his emotions, and eventually he will run out of hiding places. When he does, he's just a call away. He's not wrong. He can only do so much until he has no place to go to or people to take his grief out on. Next was Jordan to go talk to Coach Kenny, and some of the anger he had when talking to Spencer carried over to Jordan. They were discussing about what happened on the football field earlier. He was letting Jordan know it's not his job to coach the team. Before Jordan left, he asked him did he do something to offend him, and he let him know he didn't. It was just Spencer had stopped by earlier. Jordan let him know he's having that effect on all of them lately. He's the type of person that pushes everyone away whenever he's hurting, and considering he isn't really dealing with the reality of his dad being gone, he's guessing that he's hurting more than anyone really knows. Kenny told him thanks for the insight, and he apologized to Jordan about taking his frustrations out on him. Also that he is a leader and they aren't responding to his tough style that he's betraying because that's not him. That's true. I can see that Jordan usually figures out a different way to handle things, and Jordan is right about Spencer. He's still upset he didn't pick up that call. It hurts, but he didn't know what was going to happen that day. Back at the beach house, Coop brought Dylan because Spencer was supposed to take him to the art gallery, and Spencer was talking about how his mom was tripping, and Dylan said he was. And I was like, uh-oh, we about to get a part 2, but nah, Coop told him to go upstairs. Coop's trying to talk to Spencer about what's going on. She wants to figure out how they can handle things, and you could just see Spencer's anger just building up. He yelled out, "Leave him alone," and he punched the cabinet. Jordan might not have thrown no punches in here, but they made sure somebody did. Dylan was coming down the stairs, and he asked him what was he doing, and Coop told him his brother just needs a little space. Coop was surprised. She said she's been around Spencer for a long time and has seen every side of him, but the Spencer James now, she doesn't know him, and it scares her. She told Dylan to get his stuff. She doesn't feel safe leaving him there. Spencer said Dylan's his brother, and he knows he's safe with him, and Dylan said he's going with Coop. Spencer was looking so sad. I think that was a wake-up call for him, that his own brother doesn't feel safe around him and that he's doing too much. In the next scene, we see Dr. Spears at the beach house, which means Spencer's taking a step in the right direction by asking for help. He told Spencer they should take a drive because he was looking a little down in that beach house. Then the scene goes to JJ and Jabari. Some of JJ's fraternity friends show up and they mention how they missed him at the parties, and he told him he's focused on football. Jabari was surprised because he heard that his turn up is legendary. I was like, look at JJ, turning down parties and staying focused. JJ told him it got a little out of hand, and Jabari said he could understand that, but luckily he has Coach Asher believing in him and he had Coach Baker. Jabari let him know to keep doing what he's doing. He's making everybody proud and it's inspiring for guys like him. JJ told him thank you, and it just seems like some of that stuff is starting to get to JJ. Next scene, Layla's letting Patience know that G is setting up some radio interviews to create some buzz and get some views on the video, but just then her video had got to 2 million views. It was because of Miko's fan page. Patience was excited, but Layla had to let her know she's dangerous. She's been down that road with Carrie and she shouldn't talk to her. I think we all remember those Carrie episodes, and we know Patience is gonna go talk to her anyway. She's not gonna listen to Layla. Moving along, Dr. Spears ended up taking Spencer to the park. He wondered what they were doing there, and he said he thought it'd be nice to come back to a place that felt familiar and safe to him. Since Spencer was talking, he wondered what made him call him. He said he scared his brother. Dylan doesn't trust him enough to be left alone with him, and he can't blame him. I mean, man, he did do an ultra punch through the cabinet. Like, really think about it. If he took him to that gallery, that artist would have been mad if one of his artworks would have got punched. Spencer said he's been having a feeling like how people talk about out-of-body experiences. Dr. Spears asked him in what way, and he said he feels himself detaching from everything inside of him. It's like he's watching somebody else say and do things that he would never. Only the person watching is him, and he doesn't know what's going on. Dr. Spears let him know he's in a crisis. When it's not properly addressed, grief can unlock things and send people spiraling in ways they would have never imagined. Spencer said he felt grief before, this time it's different. Dr. Spears said it's because he allowed it to fester and mutate. One of the hardest things for a black man to say is that he's not okay, and him calling him is a step in the right direction. He's right, he did do a good thing and asked for help, and he did let his grief go on for too long without finding a way to handle it. Spencer talked a little bit about his dad, about him showing him how to throw a football. Then the scene goes to Coop telling Jordan and Olivia about Spencer punching the cabinet, saying that it has to be something, like he doesn't care about nothing or nobody, including himself. Olivia was getting riled up. She said, what are they supposed to do, abandon him? Coop told her it's not abandonment if he's opening the door and telling them to get out. And Jordan said he tried to make excuses for him with Coach Kenny earlier, but he saw in his eyes at the party he's done with them. Olivia brought up Alicia, and Coop hurried up and said Alicia can't help him or them. She been gone. She gave him a Dear Spencer letter and dipped. Even Jordan was surprised. Olivia said Spencer loses the closest thing he had to a father, and his girlfriend dumps him because what, he's not fun anymore? And Coop said, okay, easy there. She took a step back because she felt like she was smothering him. That is kind of true. Olivia told her knowing him, he probably felt abandoned, and that was his final straw in his whole downward spiral. Coop said he pushed her away, and Olivia said, how does no one get that Spencer is hurting? She said they shouldn't give up on him and left. Olivia looks to be on a mission to help out Spencer. Dr. Spears and Spencer are at the playground part, and he mentioned that's where he first met Sean. He brought up a story about him, and he said it's crazy how they lost all that time beefing just because they chose different paths. And it turned out he was looking out for him and protecting him from the streets without him knowing. Dr. Spears said that's a good friend, and Spencer said then he left. Spears told him he didn't leave, he passed away. I think Dr. Spears is starting to pick up on something. Back at GAU, Jordan said he was thinking about the practice that they had earlier. He thought about what Kenny said about him staying in his lane, and as a leader, he forgot about something. The team is still hurting. They don't have the final word about the program, but he thought about restoring the fun back into football. Kenny wasn't sure about it, but Jordan told him they gotta get the team pumped, and he said he hasn't built chemistry with his teammates yet. So they're on the football field, and Coach Kenny said they're going to have a touchdown celebration contest. Jordan said they're going to see who can do the best dance. And so far, it seems like everything's going good. The players are having fun, and they're doing a good job catching the passes. Spencer was talking about his dad again, and Dr. Spears said it seems like he built up some good memories when Corey came back. Spencer told him it wasn't enough time, he blinked and he was gone. At least he got to say goodbye. Next scene, Patience is at the cafe with Miko. What did Layla just tell her earlier? She told her thank you for posting the video, and Miko let her know she doesn't have to say thank you. Patience told her she needs to work on boundaries, so sending the flowers over to where she was at was too much. Miko started getting a little bit upset about what she did. Patience told her she made a mistake. They all have. Just then some other fans popped up asking for a picture. When she walked off, Miko was looking at Patience's phone. She did something else again, but we'll talk about that later. All Patience had to do was not say anything to her at all. But she didn't listen to Layla, someone who has been through that before. Olivia actually called Alicia and she asked Olivia why is she there. She told her because Spencer's drowning and she thinks Alicia's the only person that can save him. She told Olivia she tried to help him, but he didn't want her help. Olivia asked what happened, and she told her she happened, and forgive her if she doesn't want to set herself up for failure. I mean, she kind of would be setting herself up for failure. If Spencer needs saving, then Olivia is the person to do it. Olivia let her know she doesn't think she's that person anymore, but right now, Spencer needs everyone he loves to show up for him, and as a woman in his life, that especially means her. We all know that was probably hard for Olivia. She cares about Spencer, but she's putting that aside to bring Alicia back into the picture, which I think Alicia wasn't wrong about her setting herself up for failure. Because once again, somehow, some way, they're going to put those two back together. And it is going to be sad for her because she really does care about Spencer too. While Spencer's talking to Dr. Spears, Coach Kenny called and he didn't pick it up. Dr. Spears noticed that he hesitated to decline it and then he went somewhere else. Spencer started to get angry, so Dr. Spears asked him why is he angry. So Spencer finally speaks on it and he said it's because he sent Billy's call to voicemail. Coach, his hero, the man who saved his life. It was his last chance to talk to him. He felt like maybe if he picked up the phone, he could have changed things. He could have kept him off of that bus. He could have kept him alive, but instead, all he got is a reminder of how he failed him. Dr. Spears let him know he can't blame himself for that. It's nothing him or anyone else could have done. Spencer said he didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Now he's gone. He left him. They always leave him. If you caught on in the episode, he was mentioning that about people leaving him. It was nice that Spencer finally spoke about it to someone and he's letting out some of his grief. Also, that was a good performance. The emotion from that scene, all the pain that he had built up, it was very well showcased. Over at GAU, Coach Kenny let Jordan know at first he didn't think his whole dance competition thing was going to work. Jordan asked why he agreed to it, and he told him because Jordan believed in it. Jordan told him his sister reminded him of something that no matter what's happening, quitting on your people is never an option. Coach Kenny said that's a smart woman. Maybe he's thinking about going to go talk to Spencer. At Coastal, Coach Montez sees JJ's working hard and he told him that he can thank Asher for the fact that he still has his spot on the team. He let him know that those distractions are gone and he won't give him any reason to worry again. Coach Montez said that's good because he doesn't usually do second chances. If he messes up again, he's gone. When he said that, you could tell that bothered him, and when he reached in his bag, he almost went for the flash, but he reached for the energy drink. I think him trying not to mess up again and how everyone's proud of him, plus Coach Baker being gone is going to mess him up, and in a way, it's too much pressure for him. Spencer and Dr. Spears are back at the beach house having a conversation, and Spencer brings up about the people who had to leave, Darnell, his mom, and his girlfriend. He knows in his mind all the reasons for them leaving make sense, but he can't stop whatever's inside of him that keeps telling him, see, nobody wants to stick around. Dr. Spears let him know that that's little Spencer whose father left him when he was 8 years old. He gotta stop letting that one incident affect every relationship that he has. That had everything to do with Corey and his worth and nothing to do with his. He has to let that go because when things get rocky, he will just keep defaulting and pushing away the people that love him because little him is trying to protect the current him from all the pain of abandonment he felt. Spencer asked him how does he let that go. Dr. Spears said they will get there together no matter how long it takes. Dr. Spears said he wished he could see himself the way other people see him, that the people that get to be in his life are the lucky ones. Even Corey knew that. That's why he came back. Even in his passing, he still hasn't left them. None of them have. They're still here because of the gifts that they left him. I like the way Dr. Spears broke this down. He said for Corey, it's the gift of Darnell and Coach Kenny, brother figures he brought into his life. Spencer said he never thought of it that way. For Sean, it was the gift of his future, the one he protected right up until the end. And for Billy, which Spencer chimed in and said it was a voicemail, Dr. Spears said it's a chance to hear his voice tell him that he loves him whenever he needs to hear it. Dr. Spears asked him what do they do when people give them gifts, and Spencer told him they say thank you, and he knows what he has to do now. Before Dr. Spears leaves, he tells him thank you and he'd like to schedule another appointment for next week, and he told Spencer he will get through this. That was a good moment. Spencer made a breakthrough with his grief, and the way Dr. Spears mentioned how the ones that passed away left gifts for him was a good way to change Spencer's perspective on things. In a way that wasn't hurtful that they are gone, but they are still with him. It's nighttime now, and Spencer's the one leaving a voicemail for Billy, speaking about how he's been and feeling about everything. Then the scene goes to the baker's house and Layla's talking about the views on the music video, and we see what Miko did, which was bug Patient's phone. She overhears him mention how the messy stuff with Miko is over and she gets upset. I mean, she wasn't really supposed to hear that and she shouldn't be doing that. That's exactly what they're talking about. Back to Spencer, we see Coach Kenny at the beach house. He was there to bring the letter of recommendation and Spencer said he owes him an apology and Kenny said no need to. He needed a punching bag and he was there. But he let him know that there's so much of him that reminds him of his pops and Coach Baker. He turned into the brother that he never knew he needed, the closeness he thought he couldn't afford anymore, but he was wrong. Kenny let him know no matter how hard he tries to push him away, he's never leaving him, and he's not the only one. That's the Spencer we know. Glad Coach Kenny is still being there for Spencer. That's when we see everyone showed up at the house for him. Even Darnell popped up. We finally get to see him appear in the show again. That was nice to see him pop up in the show again, even though it probably might just be for that episode. We see Jordan got a text message from Master saying he's running late. JJ was his ride, but he can't find him. That's not good. He may have had a drink. Hopefully someone goes and talks to him. Spencer's talking to Jordan. He lets him know he's going to make it up to him about how he was acting, and also he brought up football, assuming Coach Kenny lets him stay at GAU, and Jordan said he's fairly confident he can go ahead and say welcome back. In the kitchen, D'Angelo lets Grace know he is sending their boxes back to their home. Also, him and Dylan had a talk that Spencer needs them close by, and she asked what about him, and he said he will take on the burden of flying back and forth to keep their family together. I wasn't expecting that at all. That's nice of D'Angelo to do that for the family. Spencer let Darnell know he was surprised to see him there. He said it's thanks to Olivia. She called and said his brother was in trouble, he had to make it, and Spencer said he assumed that his mother had gathered everybody. Darnell told him he should know that Olivia wouldn't let anyone give up on him, not for a second. Spencer thanked him for showing up, and Darnell asked him is he okay, and he said no, but he's working on it. Just then, Olivia walked over. He told her thank you, and she said it may have been her idea, but everyone there was more than happy to show up for him, and they love him. He told her they should go for a walk. He owes her a conversation, but just then Alicia popped up, and the look on everyone's face said it all. I was wondering if she was going to pop up or not. It was a little awkward. She apologized to Spencer, and she said she realized she should have been there for him more. He told her she was doing what she thought was best, and she told him she won't make that mistake again. Just then, Spencer saw Olivia had left, and that's where the episode ends. Overall, that was a good episode. The acting was on point for the emotional moments for Spencer, and I like how Dr. Spears broke down different stuff about Spencer and helped him out throughout the episode. Also, there being some things that will unfold for the characters in the next set of episodes. Comment below what did you think about the episode and what was your favorite part from it. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.